flowers surrounded by tall grass as if they were towers, all look the same except for one stem, such a beautiful green. It stands so tall and neat, each petal as red as a rose, and in the sunlight it glows. Now you may ask what it makes it different than the others, because all of the flowers have the same colors, but I tell you this one is different, and I'll give you a hint. Yeah, it's not the beauty that's on the outside, but rather what lies within. You see, the flower was planted with love, and was nurtured by Mother Nature from below and above. The birds sing a sweet melody that travels from tree to tree and carries through the breeze. Now you see, I planted this flower the day we met, and I would look upon it each day after the sun set. It bloomed not too soon and not too late, just after we had our second day. Before I met you, I was a simple caterpillar, climbing from branch to branch and tree to tree, trying to find a home. When I met you, a cocoon is what I made, and while my wings grew, you stayed. And when it was time to display my transformation, my beautiful wings became a new fixation. Love is what I yearned, and from you I learned to be free and to fly and to soar through the sky. And when you look me in the eye, butterflies is what I feel inside. That lets me know that I'm in for the ride, because I know that you will dry every tear from my eye, and through hard times you will be by my side. So this butterfly feeling that keeps repeating leaves me needing more and more. And for you I will soar, because you give me wings. I will be your queen and you my king. So just hand over the ring.
Well, hi everyone!
Welcome to the Fab Life, Season 2, Episode 3.
With Deb and Ryan.
Hello.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Absolutely.
How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing fabulous. You know, just...
How's school?
Oh my god, it's great. I just came off of finishing a novel upstairs called The Home in the World by Tagore, and it is a post-colonial novel.
Yes.
And it is phenomenal. And the ending did not turn out any way that I thought it was going to.
Don't you love that?
It ended very dark, but it was like, I know, I'm kind of on cloud 9 right now. I'm kind of very anxious, and I will talk about it here in a few hours, so I'm excited. So how about you?
Oh, everything's going well. I don't know why this is, I always get the best students.
You always comment
my students are so fabulous. I had one freshman comp class. The first week, I didn't know whether I could, really get them where I wanted them, but I did. And they're fabulous. And I told them yesterday, you're the best Comp 1 class I've ever had.
That's wonderful. Good
so
for
I'm
you.
really, really happy.
Good for you. My students seem very energized. You know, I teach at 8 a.m.
Yes.
And I do a lot of reading in my course, and they come prepared, and the discussion is great. It's actually better than what it was when I had an 11 o'clock
Well,
class.
I mean, they're fresh.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
Yeah.
And, I'm teaching persuasive writing.
Right.
And I loved that particular course.
Mm-hmm.
And those students are just superb.
Wonderful.
I'm teaching it again next semester.
Oh,
so
that's
I'm
great.
really happy.
Well, great. Well, wonderful.
Well, speaking of, students and writing and everything.
Yes.
Next Tuesday, September 20th, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Huntington Meeting Room at the main library downtown Toledo. I'm going to be reading my poetry. This is Poetry Speaks. This is organized by Professor Joel Littman,
Correct.
who is Lucas County
Poet Laureate.
Poet Laureate.
Yeah.
And he's wonderful, and he's a professor, of course, here at the University of Toledo. So not only am I reading, but the following people will be reading their poetry. Andrew Field, Joni McIntyre, Pete Faziani, myself, Doug Lutman, Zach Fischel, and, of course, Joel Littman.
Yeah.
So if you all have a chance at 6:30 next Tuesday.
Yes.
Please come down. I know
Absolutely.
you're coming.
Oh, I will definitely be there.
I know
And
a lot of
my
my friends.
colleagues.
Yes,
and
I know. I
Dear
hear.
friend here of Deb.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. It's fabulous. Though.
Okay.
So I'm really excited. So yeah, if you see that poster hanging up, if you're here at Toledo, check that out. Definitely come. It'll be a great crowd.
Yes.
And a good time. All right.
All right.
So off to other exciting things.
Yes.
We always start. We have to.
With the Housewives.
The Housewives.
The Housewives of Beverly Hills.
So, what is it, episode 2 now? Or 3?
It is, I think, 3.
3, maybe? Okay.
Right.
Episode 2 or 3. So, what's going on? They went to Camille's.
They went
Beautiful
to Camille's castle in Colorado. But she has to sell it as part of the divorce.
Will they split that? Is
proceedings.
it splitting the...
I have no idea. She didn't talk about that. But anyway, she invited all the ladies to her palace in Colorado. Mm-hmm. And it was really kind of a fun episode.
Good.
Except for Taylor. When they got to the airport,
yes,
there was a 4-hour
Correct.
limousine ride.
That's right.
To Camille's home.
Correct.
And Taylor started in on Lisa Vanderpump. And by the way, Lisa, sorry about last week. I kept on calling you Camp, which is from New York.
Right.
Right, but of course it's Lisa Vanderpump.
And we love you, so.
Right, and, Taylor kind of made some snarky remarks, continuing the whole dinner party thing about her husband making the comment that he wouldn't go to counseling.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So anyway, Lisa just, cut it off again. And, Lisa, it didn't set a really great mood. Then later on, the ladies were actually having fun.
Yeah.
Kyle and her sister were sharing a room.
Oh,
They're now getting on. Yes, and they were all having fun. It was kind of an upbeat episode until we have Taylor in the hot tub with Kyle, moaning and groaning about her life and everything. Yeah. Now, it's come out today. It's online. It's on a lot of internet news sites.
Yeah.
That she is being interviewed for one of the television stations about her husband, and she's talking about how he beat her up and how she was in the hospital.
I did not read this.
All right, so the thing is about I don't think it's in good taste. The man is dead.
Yeah. Yeah, and regardless of whether he did or did not, you just said it, Deb. He is gone. And what is it any beneficial for her to go on public networks and announce this to the world? If she is still feeling hurt or, go to a private
psychiatrist.
Yeah, or go to a private counselor. Exactly. But it's not something that needs to be shared onto. Because it's not like it's going to help her mental state going on some TV network.
It's not like he's still alive and she was getting a divorce from him so that she could go on and, just sock it to him.
Yeah.
Listen, the man is dead. Rest in peace. Let the dead,
And how embarrassing is that for his family?
Oh, it's so embarrassing. And
there's no proof of it. And so now we only have her side of the story. That's just not fair.
Maybe it's because she's in really deep financial trouble and maybe she needs the money, but
what does that say about human nature? See, that's
I know.
It's just very, I don't know.
We were talking about that in my freshman class, whether or not people are inherently good or inherently evil.
Yeah, it's a great question.
And, that's been a debate that's
going absolutely.
On ad infinitum, but anyway, so...
Yeah.
Taylor, chill out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and go seek, if you need the help, go seek the help. But also, if you need the financial help, go seek the financial help. This whole, and that sort of goes back to what we do with celebrities. And this celebrity culture that we've created. I know we talk about it, and we love the celebrity world in Hollywood and that. We love to comment on it. But this is like the dark side, right?
Yes.
The sick part about money and greed.
Money and greed and everything else.
Yeah.
I know. The dark side.
The dark side,
and we don't want to really get into that too much because we want to bring light.
We do. We do want to bring light.
And let's bring light on Gaddafi. Shall we?
He needs it.
All right.
Let's shine it on him.
So the very latest on
Yes.
Gaddafi.
Yes.
Well, French President Sarkozy and Prime Minister Cameron from England are
Right.
in Libya right now.
Correct.
And they are telling Muammar Gaddafi, although they don't know where he is,
Right.
but they're, using the Libyan media,
Sure.
it's time to resign, it's time to let go.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, he's got still his propaganda machine
Sure.
saying that he's still in Libya and he still has that he and his supporters will fight back and take back every Libyan
Sure.
town,
Absolutely.
one town after another.
Absolutely.
Muhammad, that's not going to happen, okay? It's just not going to happen. I really believe he's not in Libya.
I do too.
Or as you said,
Yeah.
he's in a what?
He's in an underground facility.
He's in a UGF.
Yeah, UGF.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
he's in
that's-
hiding.
Yeah.
Because he's really a coward.
Yeah, and who's to say he's not even a UGF in another country?
Exactly.
I mean, you know what I mean? He could be anywhere. And like we said before in prior episodes, there are other nuts in the world that will house him.
Well, right, and that's why there was that report in the paper several weeks ago that he had flown to Zimbabwe
Right, you mentioned
and
this.
was being harbored by Robert Mugabe.
Yeah.
Now that may have been a planted news report.
Sure.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But it's just time. But I'm really worried about Israel right now.
Yeah.
Because their relations with one of their major allies, Turkey,
Right.
is on the skids.
Right.
I mean, after the revolutions
Yeah.
in Egypt, the relations between Israel and Egypt are on the skids, and the
Yeah.
Palestinians, and
Yeah.
even more. So I'm a little worried about them.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. That's very important. I remember when Egypt was going through the revolution and
Yes.
these freedom fighters were revolting. The big question was, would the new government reconnect with Israel, or at least have somewhat of a peaceful relation
Yes.
with Israel? And I think that will be a very important circumstance and
Yes.
situation for the U.S.
Exactly.
to keep eyes on. So.
Oh, you know who I
Understand.
want to mention that
Go
we
ahead.
hadn't talked about
Yeah.
before the show
Yeah.
is Regis Philbin.
Oh.
He's finally retiring.
Right, I heard this.
In October, is it?
I don't know,
Or
but I
November?
heard that he is.
But I love Regis Philbin.
He is a great
He is
guy.
an American
He
icon.
he is kind of, right? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've got to give it to him. He's in his late 70s or 80s.
Oh, he looks great.
And he looks great, and
Yeah.
he's gone through all these heart surgeries,
Yeah.
and he's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Kelly Ripa's going to stay on.
Yeah.
You
Have
know?
they? Do they think they know who is?
No, but
I
you
heard
know
they were
who I
thinking about
hope?
her husband.
Oh, I wish it would be.
Mark, you like
She
him?
and
Yeah.
Mark Consuelos would
Yeah.
be so attractive and
Yeah.
so adorable together.
Yeah.
So I hope that they select them.
Yeah,
Anyway, I want to give a
interesting.
shout out to Regis.
Regis is
Love
not
you,
connected to
Regis.
Gaddafi by any means.
Oh,
I think of Regis, I think New York. I think he is
do.
such a New Yorker.
He's the epitome of
He
New
is.
York.
He loves that state. He loves the city.
Yes.
And so, best to him for
Best to him.
his retirement. Speaking of New York,
Yes.
I was mentioning to Deb
Yes.
that I watched bits and pieces of the 9/11 memorial on Sunday,
so
and
did
I thought it was so tasteful and it was so elegant, and I think it shined what America is all about. And I was so proud. And it's not that I'm not proud. I've mentioned on here several times, I'm always proud of my country.
Yes.
But it's just at times like this, we see politics pushed aside. President Bush, President Obama, Rudy Giuliani, their speeches and their actions were just elegance. It was true class, American class.
It was. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the memorials were beautiful.
Yes, it was.
And it was all about those who passed and their
Yes.
families. And I just, I have cold chills because I just think it was such a beautiful memorial.
It was absolutely gorgeous. And the waterfalls.
Yeah.
And the elegance
Yeah.
of the memorial itself.
Yeah.
Also. On the other hand, I sat there really crying and recalling the horror of that day.
Yeah.
Because as you know, I was at CIA headquarters in a
Yes.
meeting that morning.
Right.
And I'll never forget that. And my husband was still in the military, and he was stationed at Fort Belvoir. And so both of us were very heavily involved in the aftermath, and I will just never forget it.
Oh, absolutely not.
And all the people who lost their lives. So, and I am so, speaking of this.
No, go ahead.
These conspiracy theorists. I mean, please, people, especially the young people.
Yeah.
Because I had one of my students come into my office the other day spouting all of these conspiracy theories. And I told him, I said, honey, you're 19 years old. You don't know how the world operates. And anyone who would deny that this actually took place and that it was a terrorist act needs to have their head examined. Okay? I mean, we have visual proof, film proof, we have all kinds of evidence. So please, people, don't think, blaming our government, like our own government would create a conspiracy. Please.
Well,
it's utter nonsense.
And it just, for me, it takes away from the fact that there were lives lost. It goes back, it doesn't matter really how it was done, and by no means, I definitely do not support these conspiracy theories, but it really doesn't matter. There were lives lost, and it was a tragedy. It's one of the largest tragedies in America's history. And we just need to respect that those who passed.
Absolutely, and let us never forget.
That's right. Okay. That's right. And I do want to say that the new buildings are beautiful, and it's great to see New York flourishing. And I am so proud that we're building the towers again, and they have all this state-of-the-art, the equipment, all this extra fireproof. It's just fabulous. It's great to see.
We live in the best country on earth. I was telling my students the other day. I've traveled extensively, as you know, and as you have, in my life. And I've actually not just traveled, but I've actually lived in foreign countries. And there is no country on earth better than the United States of America. I mean, there are many great countries.
Oh, absolutely.
But we live in the best country on earth, and I am just proud to be an American citizen.
We are a group of diverse people, and we are
energetic,
a great community.
Creative, energetic, and we're going to get through all of this economic downfall.
We will.
I think that's what we're going to talk about.
We are going to talk about economic downfall. Let's talk about Obama's job bill.
Well, he was on television and presented his bill, and it does sound like a bill that could work. Could work. However, I am so sick of the infighting in Washington and this partisanship that just never ends, and nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. I'm just tired of it.
I think all Americans are.
We are all tired.
We are all tired of it because it's. Our money's at stake. Our jobs are at stake. Our homes are at stake. Our children's education are at stake. I'm sorry, but it's sick. It's sick that these people cannot, congressmen and women, cannot put aside their differences and work
do what is right for the common good. And not for the party. Of course, it's coming election time.
It is.
Oh, boy.
And they're going to be even more clinging to their parties.
Oh, they are. They really are.
Especially the Republican Party, because they need to. They need to come off more conservative and more pro-Republican.
I was listening to some economic analysts. And they were saying, everybody's, criticizing President Obama because he keeps wanting to raise the debt ceiling, raise the debt ceiling. Well, these economic analysts said, we've been doing this for 40 or 50 years. This is nothing new.
That's a great
point.
But
apparently they want to criticize Obama. Well, they want to criticize Obama for everything.
For everything.
For everything.
For everything.
It's not like, President Obama inherited a lot of this mess.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
But, part of the reason for our economic downturn is the fact that we don't have a manufacturing base in our country anymore.
Nope.
We don't.
It's outsourced.
We're importing too much and not exporting and manufacturing enough.
I actually had this conversation with somebody, and that this was America's foundation. We were the we were the industrial light of the world. I mean, that's how we...
It's true.
That's what made America.
I know.
And now
we were like #1 in everything.
We were.
In steel and clothing, cotton, you name it.
That's when our education was 1.
You know,
and now
plastics,
we don't have that.
We don't have it. It's all in China. I was at the Toledo Museum last week with one of my colleagues because I wanted to visit the Egyptian.
Oh, yes.
And then after, I wanted to get a gift for my husband.
Okay.
Because he is a master mason and he loves... I mean, he collects everything. He's got every book on ancient Egypt that ever has been published. So I went into the gift store and I got him this box. It's in a sarcophagus.
Yes.
All right. So I brought it home and I wrapped it up really nice to give it to him as a surprise gift. And he turned it over and he said, "Guess what, Deborah? It's made in China." I said, "Oh, God." So what else is new? Everything. I mean, everything.
Yeah. And you know, in all reality, I have to be honest, that's a no fault of China. They're just being economically smart.
They're being economically smart. I know.
It is really our fault.
It is our fault.
And I think we're coming to a place where we don't know what is America, right? I mean, we used to define ourselves by that manufacturing industrial society that we really built for the world, and now it's sort of we lost it, and it's like, what do we do?
Well, what do we do?
What do Americans do?
They sing and they dance.
We have Hollywood,
and they go to McDonald's.
Ugh.
That's where all the new jobs are.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. We'll all be working when we retire, we'll all be working at McDonald's because there won't be any money in the Social Security. Speaking of that, Governor Perry from Texas, you know, he was like, "Oh, Social Security, well, we got to get rid of it," and all this stuff. Well, he's had to backstep that.
Well, he's got to backstep a lot
of stuff. Right? I don't think he's... I'm going to tell you something, Governor Perry. I don't think you have a chance. A fiddler's chance of being elected.
I thought he did it first, but not anymore.
Oh, I shouldn't have said how.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. You're all okay. Just close your...
Okay.
Censor.
We were talking about censorship in my classes this week.
I like how everything we're talking about, you're talking about.
I know. On a happier note.
Anyway, I think that, as we always say, I think our country will bounce back, but I think we need to redefine who we are.
How about supporting our president and getting things done? Please.
And I mentioned this to you, like, how can we take care of this? And you know, the obvious response is, well, don't elect the congressmen or women. But I'm not so sure one's better than the other. That's the trouble we're running into.
And today, and we were also talking about this in my class, is that today you have to be a multimillionaire to run for Senate, Congress, or be able to raise millions and millions and millions of dollars. This is absurd.
I was having this conversation with my neighbor, actually, and he said, and I said, it needs to be sort of us, the people who are middle class, that have lost their jobs, but he says, we can't run, we have no money. And I said, you're absolutely right. Isn't that a shame?
I know.
Because it doesn't mean, just because you don't have money does not mean you don't have the education.
And everyone's a lawyer. Why is it that lawyers have to become senators?
Thank you. Thank you.
How about a PhD in history or
just political science?
Or how about,
or an economist? We always have
someone
lawyers.
Who represents the intelligentsia of our country.
Sorry, I've dealt with enough lawyers here recently to know that, although I'm not in trouble, don't worry.
No.
But to know that, why the hell are we electing lawyers?
I have no idea.
They're the most
I have no idea.
Nastiest, anyway.
Well, we better not say too much about lawyers in case we need one. Because I have a great lawyer. He's the handsomest lawyer in this side of the Mississippi.
Something about lawyer. I've thought about studying law, but of course, when you think about studying it, or I think about studying it, I would be better than that.
When I had to come to a decision: was I going to get a PhD or?
You would be a good lawyer, or at least you'd be a great professor of law. I think.
Well,
you have this analytical
well, thank you,
background.
but I decided there were already too many lawyers.
Well, that's true.
So.
That's true.
Anyway,
we want to end, even though this has, debt ceiling? No, not really. Anyway, Rachel Zoe. We like her.
Rachel Zoe.
We like her. And she has great fashion, and I love that she loves Chanel, because I love Chanel.
Well, I've been following her on Bravo. At first, I didn't know whether I was going to like her.
Right.
But, she started off as one of the best stylists to the stars out in Hollywood.
Right.
And now, she just had a baby with her husband,
Yeah.
and she's just turned 40.
Right. Oh, I didn't know she's that old.
Yes.
Oh, she looks great.
She does look fabulous. Yeah. Anyway, I wish I were as thin as she were.
And after having a baby, she's like...
I know, she's
all petite again.
But anyway, she has just launched her own fashion line.
Oh.
And it was on her show on Bravo. So gorgeous. I guess Neiman Marcus is going to be carrying it.
Oh.
Her clothing is so elegant.
Oh. Yeah.
Timeless. Classic.
She has great style. Oh, well, obviously she was a great
influenced by Chanel and
Yeah.
many other classic designers.
Yeah.
She's a class act.
She is a class act. Even watching her dress, she's not...
her.
She doesn't flaunt too much where it's disgusting. She flaunts just enough so it's sexy and sophisticated.
Exactly.
She's just great.
She's fabulous.
She has self-respect. She's a self-made businesswoman.
She's such a hard worker.
She is, isn't she?
Oh my God!
And that show really
and
demonstrates.
It really shows
it does.
that. And she's got a great husband, and so
best to her. Best to her. We wish her the best.
Oh, so I want to say hi, Andy.
Yeah, hi, Andy.
Yes.
How are you?
Please start promoting the Fab Life with Deb and Ryan. Please
we
start
love
watching and have us on.
Yes.
Yes, we'd love to come on with you,
Yeah.
Andy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So send us a little message.
Yes.
Call us. Like us.
Yes. Facebook me. Because we're all on Facebook together.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see all of Angie's things on my Facebook.
And as a future note, so you can be looking forward to, I will announce it when it's official, we will be launching a Facebook page.
Yes,
Deb and
we
I
will
for
be.
the Fab Life. So stay tuned. I'll definitely announce when that's up.
Yes. So that's it.
That's it.
In the end, I want everybody to have a fabulous week.
Fabulous weekend.
And also, stay fabulous. Bye.
Flowers surrounded by tall grasses. If they were towers, all look the same except for one stem, such a beautiful green. It stands so tall and neat. Each petal as red as a rose, and in the sunlight it glows. Now you may ask what it makes it different than the others, because all of the flowers have the same colors. But I tell you, this one is different, and I'll give you a hint. Yeah, it's not the beauty that's on the outside, but rather what lies within. You see, the flower was planted with love. It was nurtured by Mother Nature from below and above. The birds sing a sweet melody that travels from tree to tree and carries through the breeze. Now you see, I planted this flower the day we met, and I would look upon it each day after the sun set. It bloomed not too soon and not too late, just after we had our second day. Before I met you, I was a simple caterpillar, climbing from branch to branch and tree to tree, trying to find a home. When I met you, a cocoon is what I made, and while my wings grew, you stayed. And when it was time to display my transformation, my beautiful wings became a new fixation. Love is what I yearned, and from you I learned. And now you see through the sweet melody that on the inside is love. And because of you it grew. So this butterfly feeling I do like, because it means for once something in my life is right. And as the light from the night shines bright, I've never seen a more beautiful beautiful, say we would die together, but what I hope will be forever. So let's just never say never.